Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Module 1 of EDU 680 Professional Learning in Schools. My name is Dr. Anita Stewart McCafferty, faculty with Ed Leadership Department at the University of Southern Maine. And I wanted to welcome you to this week's module, our first week together. And we will be focusing on our own experiences and the experiences of our colleagues with professional learning, and then becoming acquainted or more acquainted with the standards for professional learning that are put out by Learning Forward. So when we think about the work that we will do in Module 1, we're going to really be thinking about the following guiding questions. What have your experiences been with professional learning? What's worked well for you? What's not worked so well? And what does professional learning look like when it's done well? What are the key components to consider when planning and implementing professional learning in your schools? And how might adhering to the national set of professional learning standards guide current and future professional learning opportunities in your schools or districts? We have 3 module objectives that we'll be focused on. The first is to evaluate your experiences with professional learning as well as that of colleagues to hypothesize what works well for professional learning. The second is to compare and contrast personal and local experiences with the professional learning national standards. And then the third module objective is to explain the importance of using the standards of professional learning to guide the designing, implementing, and evaluating of professional learning opportunities for educators. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll walk through the focus of Module 1. So hopefully at this point you can see my screen. And by clicking on the blue underlined link here, the hyperlink, I'm going to move into the folder for Module 1. So you'll always see a summary at the top of each module that indicates to you the major bullet points of what you'll need to accomplish during that module. So for this week, you'll be watching, of course, this intro video, and then several other videos that are located in the readings and viewing folder, which I'm going to show you in just a few moments. And you're going to begin also reading our common read, the PLC Plus book, Better Decisions and Greater Impact by Design, as well as reading several of the website articles around the learning standards. You'll also work on an assignment which has 2 tasks connected with it, where one of them is focused on you, of course, answering questions related. So this assignment that I'm talking about here is located right here in the green. And the task 1 is for you, of course, to answer the 4 prompts that are listed, and then to also interview 3 of your colleagues. So colleagues or other educators. So this the interview might be via email, it might be phone. It's not going to be probably face-to-face at this point, given the current situation that we're in. And it might be, via some sort of social media platform. And really you're going to be thinking about asking what their experiences with professional learning, professional development has been, and ask them to share an example that's worked well for them and an example that hasn't worked so well for them. And then based on their experiences, needs, and preferences, what do they believe to be the key components of effective professional learning? And then what you're going to do after you compile your own answers and the answers of at least 3 of your colleagues or other educators, then you're going to be completing the set of readings for this week, especially those around the national standards. And you're going to then answer 2 prompts in about 2 to 3 pages or 500 to 750 words, where you're going to compare and contrast personal and colleague experiences with professional learning to the national standards, and talk about how those experiences and those of your colleagues are similar and distinct to those that are proposed by the Learning Forward standards. You'll also be asked to explain the importance of using quality standards of professional learning, such as those from Learning Forward, to be able to guide the designing, implementing, and evaluating of professional learning opportunities. In this week's discussion prompt, you're really going to be able to share your own experiences so that you'll get an opportunity with your classmates to be able to see what's worked well for them, what hasn't worked so well, and what they're really thinking are the key components of effective professional learning. All right, so I want to show you, there's this blue link here for Module 1, Reading and Viewing Materials. And so you'll click on that link, and when you do, it's going to take you to the readings, which sometimes are going to be videos. So for instance, if I click on the Learning Forward Standards for Professional Learning, it's going to open up this tab, which is what I've talked to you about, the Professional Learning Association Learning Forward. And this is an overview of the standards that they have outlined as the characteristics of professional learning. So learning communities, resources, learning designs. You'll see a number of things like outcomes and leadership and data that you could look at. And what you're going to be taking a peek at is each of these: the leadership required, the resources, the data, the learning design, the implementation, and the outcomes. And there are a couple of ways that you can get to those. And so that will be part of your reading. So each of the blue underlines here are going to provide you our hyperlinks that will move you directly to a resource. Sometimes, as in this here, you're going to look, please watch video 1, which is an introduction to the PLC Plus. And this is part of that Common Read, the PLC Plus book that's put out by Corwin just this year, so it's brand new. And you'll get an opportunity, so I'll show you what that looks like. It will open up a player, so a video player where you'll be able to listen to one of the authors from that PLC book. Okay, so that's how you'll be able to work through. And then there's an article here from Learning Forward about the 4 cornerstones of professional learning. So that's where you're going to find the reading and viewing assignments for this week. The discussions, if you click on here with your personal experiences, it's going to take you to the discussion board. And so you've already hopefully introduced yourself, and then you'll move into this discussion forum. I remind you that your initial response is due by Thursday, and then the goal again is for you to be actively participating in the discussion with your colleagues. So that will require you to be into the discussion board on multiple days to be able to answer and reply and respond and kind of learn from one another. I hope you have a wonderful week of learning, and I will look forward to talking to you in the very near future. Bye-bye.